Good morning, everyone. I hope that we're all doing well. So as you know, for Mother's Day, we chose to speak on Hannah, Samuel's mother, who was someone who couldn't conceive, but the Lord granted her request. Today, we're going to talk about another mother. So we're going to kind of keep on with the theme here, who also could not conceive, but yet the Lord chose her to be the mother of someone very special in the Bible, and his name was Samson. Now Samson is described as like a superhero in the Bible, which is pretty cool. So let's read Judges chapter 13 together and let's find out. So the Israelites again did what was evil in the Lord's sight. So the Lord handed them over to the Philistines for 40 years. There was a certain man from Zorah, from the family of Dan, whose name was Manoah. His wife was unable to conceive and had no children. So it doesn't give us her name, but it gives us Samson's dad's name, which was Manoah. The angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her, "It is true that you are unable to conceive and have no children, but you will conceive and give birth to a son. Now please be careful not to drink wine or beer or eat anything unclean, for indeed you will conceive and give birth to a son. You must never cut his hair." Now that part is important, because the boy will be a Nazarite to God from birth, and he will begin to save Israel from the power of the Philistines. Then the woman went and told her husband, "A man of God came to me. He looked like the awe-inspiring angel of God. I didn't ask him where he came from, and he didn't tell me his name. He said to me, 'You will conceive and give birth to a son. Therefore, do not drink wine or beer, and do not eat anything unclean, because the boy will be a Nazarite to God from birth until the day of his death.' Manoah prayed to the Lord and said, 'Please, Lord, let the man of God you sent come again to us and teach us what we should do for the boy who will be born.' God listened to Manoah, and the angel of God came again to the woman. She was sitting in the field, and her husband Manoah was not with her. The woman ran quickly to her husband and told him, 'The man who came to me the other day has just come back.' So Manoah got up and followed his wife. When he came to the man, he asked, 'Are you the man who spoke to my wife?' 'I am,' he said. Then Manoah asked, 'When your words come true, that will be the boy's responsibility and work.' The angel of the Lord answered Manoah, 'Your wife needs to do everything I told her. She must not eat anything that comes from the grapevine or drink wine or beer, and she must not eat anything unclean. Your wife must do everything I have commanded her.' 'Please stay here,' Manoah told him, 'and we will prepare a young goat for you.' The angel of the Lord said to him, 'If I stay, I won't eat your food. But if you want to prepare a burnt offering, offer it to the Lord.' Manoah did not know he was the angel of the Lord. Then Manoah said to him, 'What is your name, so that we may honor you when your words come true?' 'Why do you ask my name?' the angel of the Lord asked him, 'since it is beyond your understanding.' Manoah took a young goat and a grain offering and offered them on a rock to the Lord, who did something miraculous. While Manoah and his wife were watching, when the flame went up from the from the altar to the sky, the angel of the Lord went up in its flame. When Manoah and his wife saw this, they fell face down to the ground. The angel of the Lord did not appear again to Manoah and his wife. Then Manoah realized that it was the angel of the Lord. "We're recently going to die," he said to his wife, "because we have seen God." We're certainly going to die, he said to his wife, "because we have seen God." But his wife said to him, if the Lord had intended to kill us, he wouldn't have accepted the burnt offering and the grain offering from us, and he would have not shown us all these things or spoken to us like this. So the woman gave birth to a son and named him Samson. The boy grew and the Lord blessed him. Then the Spirit of the Lord began to stir him in the camp of Dan between Zorah and Eshtal. Sorry, I can't speak today. Okay. So the reason why that the angel of the Lord gave those specific rules to Samson's mum was because that if she had broken any of those rules, then Samson would not, receive his supernatural gift from God, which was supernatural strength. So now I'm just going to read a little bit of chapter 14 just to show you what I mean by that. And this is the first example of what Samson does with his supernatural strength. So Samson went down to Timnah and saw a young Philistine woman there. He went back and told his father and mother, I have seen a young Philistine woman in Timnah. Now go get her for me as a wife. But his father and mother said to him, can't you find a young woman among your relatives or among any of our people? Must you go to the uncircumcised Philistines for a wife? But Samson told his father, get her for me, she's the right one for me. Now his father and mother did not know that this was from the Lord, who wanted the Philistines to provide an opportunity for a confrontation at that time. The Philistines were ruling Israel. Samson went down to Timnah with his father and mother and came to the vineyards of Timnah. Suddenly a young lion came roaring at him. The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully on him, and he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, as he might have torn a young goat. But he did not tell his mother what he had done. Then he went and spoke to the woman because she seemed right to Samson. So, that's just the very first example of how we see this gift that the Lord gave Samson. But then again, all this just doesn't appear out of the blue. It all starts with a mother giving birth. Samson's mother was specifically chosen by the Lord, and she took the angel of the Lord very seriously. She didn't break the rules that the angel gave her, which is amazing. I don't know how many of us could do that. How many of us could follow such rules, and have such self-discipline, but it's just so amazing, what the Lord can do. And sometimes we don't understand why he chooses, us, or we don't know what was so special about Manoah's wife. Why did he specifically choose Manoah's wife? Maybe it was because the Lord knew that Manoah's wife would take such a assignment so seriously, and he knew that it had to be Manoah's wife. But yeah, it's really cool. Samson goes on to do more cool things in the Bible. You have to read on within Judges, but I think that's all that I really wanted to talk about today, is that we sometimes maybe wonder, where does the inspiration for superheroes come from? Who knows? Maybe for some people that have written these books and made these movies about superheroes, they might have taken, inspiration from the Bible, from someone like Samson in the Bible, So, yeah, but anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. And yeah, may God bless you all.